Yeah, TriPod, baby. My name's Ryan.
I'm Jaaron.
I'm Powys. Welcome to TriPod, baby.
TriPod in the land post TriHards.
I know. It's a weird feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to be careful not to slip into post TriHardum depression, you know?
Oh.
I think there's only one known cure, maybe two.
What's that?
You go back and watch the episodes a lot, share them with your friends.
Wow.
And or listen to TriPod, baby.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, that's cool. That's cool. That is clinical advice. That's clinical advice. So you can take that.
Doctor approved.
Yeah.
As legit as a doctor.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
oh my God. Are we going to get into that shit?
Yeah, I mean, as we've obviously talked about doctors on this pod before. Yeah.
According to, yeah.
Okay, you've never waved sage over your head and felt better, so get at me, WebMD.
I guess that settles it. My arguments, I retract for this episode.
You ever wave sage over your head and pass out?
I mean, that's a fair call because I haven't. So.
I mean, we don't really have to get into it, but like, I was listening to Big Sean on Jay Shetty's podcast yesterday, and he talked about how he had like really bad knee issues, and he went to the doctor and they said, yeah, your cartilage is like getting rough and we're gonna have to open up your knee and do the surgery. And his mom is kind of a holistic type, and she was like, nah, let's go see this guy. And then this other guy was like, yeah, take magnesium and inject some, like, I don't know, some blood or something in his knee. Anyway, his cartilage grew back like 99% or something. And he went to the doctors and said, like, I just did this magnesium and did this thing. And they were just like, that's impossible. Like, no. And he's just like, all right.
Cool. Well, I mean,
maybe he's a miracle. But yeah. I'm just a lowly dude fucking...
I mean, I hope you realize that doesn't mean you can just disregard everything doctors say.
No, I do realize that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes stuff like that's going to work, and it's going to work great, and that's awesome. That's good for them. Glad that worked out for them.
It's important. Yeah, it's important to get as many opinions as you can. See if it...
How many is too many?
I don't know. Fuck.
It depends who you're getting the opinions from.
Because I've got an opinion right now.
Okay, all right.
And it's that I'm absolutely loving Ryan's beard.
Yeah, you like this? I just shaved my neck pre-pod. I had a bit of a fucking COVID spesh going on. Hadn't shaved in 3 weeks, even though I still have to go to work. They have to deal with that shit. But figured for the pod, I'd shave the lines.
It's always a nice feeling, man. I don't know what it is. Like, I've been growing out my beard for the last little while. We're doing pickups, a couple pickups for the short that we did.
Nice.
And I'm like, can we just film it now? I don't want to, like, when the sides of my head get long now, or when my beard gets long, I just don't feel as good.
Yeah.
Where it's just
clean
like, I don't
feeling,
know. Exactly.
Getting that shave in there.
It's like, for me, it's not so much the clean shave anymore, because I have been clean shaven like once after Jared's face turn.
Yeah.
Right. It was like the only time in the last 5 years.
So weird.
And then, for me, I'm like, just like light beard, you know? It's, that's peak, or that's prime.
I'm not like, I don't have a lot of facial hair as you guys gather.
What?
But, but like, I've been growing it for some time, I guess, now. And now it is starting to get a bit unruly.
Right.
Like my little chin patch is starting to get a bit foresty, and my little mustache is starting to coil, and I grow it for the sake of my ingrown hairs, because
dude.
My ingrowns are a problem, and when I shave, they get fucking irritated. Versus just like letting my hair grow and like brushing my little beard. I was at work one time, I pulled my mask off and started taking a brush to this little freaking patch of fuzz on my chin, and someone's like, are you seriously brushing that right now? I'm like, yeah, dude. Kid's got to straighten out his groans.
Well, it's like your facial hair looks similar to your hair on your head, where it's like
it's
curly, right? And
also,
that shit will lend itself to getting ingrown hairs pretty easily.
For a while, the masks were really like touching the most trouble area, like
right along the jaw or like on the neck.
Terrible, dude. So the kid bought a different set of masks, and then boom, it came a bit off my face. Got 20 masks.
Bonnie Henry has entered the chat.
Spent some cash getting them customized with all these cool freaking things.
Dude. Aftermarket customizations.
Aftermarket custies, and then get to work, and they're like, "Yeah, you guys can only wear the masks that we had."
Yeah, dude, I was gonna say you got to be careful. Like, they're not always street legal. Those customizations, man, you could run into some legal trouble.
They aren't legal anymore at all. I mean, I suppose I could wear it on the outside of my K95, but I'm kind of like just over it. Not over it, but
over it.
Dude, fuck, I'm over it, man. I don't want to wear a mask anymore either. I mean, I do still do it, but I don't want to. I'm really sick of if I have my hair down and I have like either, because I mean, like I wear a hat probably 60% of the time because I don't want to fuck around with my hair. But if I have a hat on and a mask on, if my hair is down, like the hair just like comes out of the side of my head. It's so fucking annoying. The little straps like pulling my hair out of it and shit like that.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of it's for optics.
Well, I mean,
There was like days when I was at work, I was wearing my mask on a cold day, and like I could see my breath going everywhere. I was like, I don't know if this is working. These are the ones that they provided for us,
right? I mean,
they had other measures in place, you know.
Yeah, it's mostly like it stops the large majority of your droplets, right? Because it's the droplets that you end up breathing out, but you're still gonna breathe out some air, right? Like it's not a fucking seal, right? It just it stops bigger droplets from your
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm just kind of used to it at this point. It's like, okay, when I do my pocket check now, going out the door, I'm like, keys, wallet, phone, mask.
Wow.
It's like, I go out the door, I'm like, shit, I'm not going to be able to get anywhere without this thing.
Dude, how long do you think it's going to take, like, once we don't have to wear masks anymore for you to, like, unlearn that shit? Like, you're going to be looking for your mask for, like, years.
Oh, yeah. I think this is, like, there's a whole generation of germaphobes coming out of this shit.
Yeah, it's going to be like, oh, Grandpa Jaaron's looking for his mask again. Crazy old Grandpa Jaaron. He's like, I had to wear a mask every day.
I wonder if some people will adopt it, like, you know, in the winter.
Right.
I know in Japan, they wear them in, like, flu season and stuff like that.
Dude, for sure, man.
Because, like, it's meant to be as a way to respect other people if you're like sick or whatever. I don't know if we have that much respect for other people in North America. North America, we're like, fuck you, I'm not wearing a mask.
Yeah. Japan has more community vibes. Yeah. More like, hey, let's all do this together vibes.
Dude, the mindfuck is how low flu numbers are.
In Japan?
No, everywhere. Like here even. Yeah. Just because like people not going places, people not standing on each other's faces, like...
Well, the COVID restrictions are super effective against the flu as well, right? Like, it's all the ways that you would catch the flu, so...
Right. Yeah. I hope that they don't keep this shit around to be like, oh, yeah, the flu's kind of out of control.
Nah, they won't. They wouldn't be able to fucking enforce it, right? Like, they can barely make it happen for COVID. So many people just disregard it at this point. But, I mean, when it comes to, like, the mask and stuff like that, I feel like if I'm sniffling or coughing from this point onward, right, I might wear a mask when I'm on transit or going to the grocery store or whatever. Like, why not?
Transit seems like the good one. Because, like, that's one thing that came from, like, I don't have to sit next to somebody on the train or on the bus. I'm like, I can put my bag down next to me and people don't think I'm an asshole.
Right.
What? Man. Someone's not like right in your face on like rush hour traffic. That's a nice thing.
We've come a long way. I remember when I was younger and my older brothers were super into Jackass. As it was like just coming out, and they're like, well, we want to make Jackass too.
I think it was like every guy ever.
Yeah, the disclaimer at the start of the Jackass movie, that don't try it at home, it didn't work on like any young dudes.
No.
And they're like, huh, what's a really good name for it? Oh, we know, Dumbass.
That's pretty good.
So as part of like the dumbass tasks, when my brother's buddy fucking licked a fucking hand pole in the bus thing. It's like $10 and you do it. He's like, fine, fucking
and then he got herpes.
I was like, that's crazy. I didn't even understand germs.
It's just, it's
well, I mean, bro, do we even understand germs now? We have like a vague idea of what a germ is. I don't think we understand that shit. I mean, you know, some epidemiologists and doctors and scientists might, but us, like, we just think of like little goblins running around inside of our body. We're like, that's germs.
That's because like that's what they did in ad campaigns for like.
It's probably the best way to get like, you know, simpletons like us to get it. So
yeah, it was like for some like mucus relief medication or something. It was like this goblin living in someone's throat or their stomach.
Yeah.
It was like
Mucinex maybe. Have you guys seen Osmosis Jones?
Oh yeah,
I've heard the name.
I've watched it like kind of a couple of years ago. I think I had to turn it off because I was getting way too tripped out. I was like, this is way too real.
Right.
Turn it off. I want to watch it again. I love puns.
Puns are great.
Right.
I just love puns, and it's like
my shit.
Probably so full of puns. Like maybe not quite a sausage party amount of puns. I don't know if anything could be like a sausage party amount of puns.
What was your take on that movie?
I enjoyed it. It was fun.
I like Sausage Party a lot. Yeah, you
I don't know. I don't know, man. Like I cringed pretty hard for a lot of it. Like
there was a lot of cringe moments for sure.
I don't know. I was definitely disappointed. I don't know that I hated the movie.
I think there was only so much you could do with it.
Yeah,
and I think they did about as much as they could with it.
Yeah, it was like one joke that stretched way too far, maybe.
Yeah. I was just like, there's only so much you could do with it.
Yeah,
I think it would have worked better as like maybe a short or like maybe 15 or 20 minutes or something.
Right. Yeah,
but I watched that a couple months ago at my parents' place, and the final scene where they're like all having sex, and they're just all going to town on each other, but they can get away with it because they're food. My mom was in the fucking room, and I was just like, "Oh, this is the worst." Like it's different if it was like kissing scenes and shit.
You should have asked her what they were doing. What? Mom, what's that? I don't know what that is.
I didn't know that a tortilla could fold that way.
Do you do this, Mom?
Oh God! Oh. I don't like this at all. I don't like this.
Yo, that's a absolute thing though. Like, watching stand up with your parents is like.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I watched stand up a couple weeks ago at my parents' place, and his name's Dion Cole from I think he's in Blackish and a few other things, but he was talking about getting blowjobs and like different blowjob receiving techniques or something. And like both my parents are sitting there and then just like they're laughing at a lot of it. And then all of a sudden they're looking down at their phones at that part. And I was like, yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all.
Jared's like, ah!
I mean, I did laugh.
I love it when you stick a pencil in each one of her ears, dude.
Oh, God.
Like, what? Your parents
like, yeah, it's hilarious. I always do that. That's how I always give them.
Yeah. Yeah. Even, kissing scenes with mom and dad. Dude, I told my mom, like, yo, please watch TriHards, just not with me. Watch it, just not when I'm there.
Yeah.
That's fair. I understand that. So I've been like
episode.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, sir. Sir, go ahead. Proceed.
Oh, jeez. I was just gonna say, episode 1, you could get away with it, pretty much, and like maybe 2 and 3, but like, you know, Reiki's and noging, and let's watch it by yourself. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so I was saying that like I guess like since I've been promoting this on social media publicly and such like that, it was only a matter of time. But people at my work have now seen TriHards, and people keep bringing it up to me.
Oh shit!
And I'm like, man, this is an existence I didn't want to happen. Like, and they were like, they're like, Ryan, you're so quiet. That's not you on the video. It's like, no, yeah, it's me. That's me. They didn't believe it, crazy. So I just sit in the corner quietly at work.
It's so strange. Like, complete professional identity and then party boy identity.
Dude, I'm fucking Clark Kent and shithead man, you know?
Shithead
man. Sounds like it, bro. Clark Kent and shithead man.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm the opposite. I just go ape shit at work the whole day, and people are just like, Powys, you should really act. I'm like, yeah, I actually did. You should watch this thing. They're like, oh.
Right.
All right. Just like, all right. At least I have a response to that from now on.
Right.
Yeah.
A nice thing. But yeah, dude, it's important. I mean, I like working where I work because it's very social.
Sure.
Like, I'm not like in a pod. I mean, it's my job to talk to people a lot, and it's cool to, you know, be in connection all the time. And I've spoken about this in the past. Of the other side of the coin is too much conversation, but you know, I'm just fucking basking in it now. I'm but pretty freaking grateful and pretty jazzed that get to work with the people I do, make the connections I made, and can take it outside of a work environment at times, and you know, don't have to just have it in the confines of that. Like, as much as it's like, oh, we work too much, and oh, it's a beautiful day outside and we're in a cage. Oh, you know, it's like, well, fuck, we all met each other, and some of us are actually going to be friends after the fucking cameras turn off. So at least there's that.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's something I've struggled with my whole working life is, I make really good friends with people that I work with, but those relationships like stay at work. I like compartmentalize my social life where I'm like, these are my friends that I hang out with. These are my work friends. These are my this friends and that friends. These are my soccer friends, you know? And I think part of it is just being afraid to go to my comfort zone socially. But, every time that I leave a job, I like always feel super sad. And they're like, that's cool. Like, we'll stay in touch and whatever. I'm like, yeah, we'll stay in touch, but like, I'll probably never see you again, or like rarely see you again. Right. I think I like can count on one hand the amount of friends that I have from previous jobs that I like still see somewhat regularly.
Yeah.
But it's something that I'm working on because, you know, I meet a lot of cool people, you know, it's just, for me, the thing with work is like, I try to keep work and like work stays at work. I don't know. Just,
right.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like making plans isn't something that I'm like, that I'm maybe not that I'm not used to, but just like not comfortable with,
right?
Something like that. But I'm just like, work kind of gives the reason for me to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to see that person, so like I'll see them at work.
Yeah.
But then you're not really spending quality time with that person.
Yeah, no, not really.
You know, my favorite thing working in retail though was like always before or after the store was open,
right?
Like closing time, like folding pants at Lulu and shit, and just like the music's on, we're all shooting the shit and like get to know each other. Those are always the fun times, I think.
Yeah. Scaring each other.
Scaring each other.
Scaring the crap out of this vulnerable soul at Jared's.
Oh yeah, he was very easily scared. His name's Jay. I don't know if he listens to this, but
he obviously does. Everyone does. So
he kind of he's kind of like Powys, where he's like pretty skittish. And so he's just like an easy target. He would come into the back room, someone would be hiding in like clothes racks or whatever, scare the crap out of him. Someone would be in the bathroom, he'd be terrified. And so when I was working at the Oak Ridge Lululemon, that store closed, that whole mall's undergoing redevelopment. And so we're packing up the whole store, we're folding everything up, putting them into boxes and stuff. And so our store manager's at the front, and one of our coworkers, she's the one who taught me yoga. She's really bendy, obviously. She like folds up into a ball and fits into a box. And then the manager closes it. She's like, hey, Jay, I need you to help move this box to my car. So he like comes out, super helpful, like friendly guy. Comes out, and then she just pops out and scares the shit out of him. He just immediately bolts and just turns back the other way.
There was a video.
Yeah.
It was funny.
It's, people that are easily scared, I feel bad.
Do you?
Part of me feels bad, but I just enjoy it too much because it's just too easy. Like Powys, I've been like messing with him a lot the last few months.
Like you talk about masks fucking sticking around after. I come in the door every day. It's pitch black, like 2 a.m. Like, not today. It can't be today. And I see the telltale signs like, what the fuck is the chair doing at the top of the stairs? Like, no, he's not home. His door's open. Is this open? Fucking, hey, fucking, nah! Botsy's like, you guys gonna fucking see?
To be fair, the other day, Pow came home. I was sitting in the dark. because I was just like on my phone for a sec. I was just gonna check something and then go to bed. And then Pal rolls up. I'm like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity. So I rolled my chair out there. I stood in the bathroom in the dark, and then as he's going up the stairs, I could hear him calculating. He's like, "What? So weird." Just like, that was him seeing the telltale signs, and he was saying them out loud. And I was like, "Oh, he has no idea." And then I just bolted up the stairs behind him.
Fucking congratulations.
But yeah, this is all just like, for me, my brother does that shit to me all the time.
Yeah.
Not so much lately, but like he would do that. He would just stand in the stairs. Now it's like pitch black. I'm like walking around like, oh, like trying to feel around like, where the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Like, I know that he's somewhere. You know that it's coming. It's like watching a fucking horror movie. You know the jump scare is coming, but you still get scared. But
yeah. Sick.
I used to get Gareth a lot too when we lived together. He was the easy target.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I bet he is. Yeah.
we lived in a basement at the time, so I used to be like, I'd be washing the dishes or something, and you could see whenever someone was coming by because you'd see them walking by the window. Yeah. And then I would always just wait behind the door. He'd be like on the phone or something, like fucking with his keys. I'm like, what's up, dude? It's like, oh, like so
Jesus. That was a cozy spot.
A what?
That was a cozy spot.
Cozy's a good way of saying it was tiny.
Right, yeah. It was tight. Yeah. Sure, yeah.
It was very tight.
Very tight.
It was very gray. That was the first time where I realized that wintertime doesn't suit you well if you don't get sunlight. Or any light, you know? Yeah. I was like off work for like a stretch of a couple months, and then like 1 or 2 p.m. it's already dark in the fucking basement.
Right.
It's not a good place to be, you know?
Sun is underrated.
So, dude, Jeeve, my brother, sent us a video recently of him getting hit by some surprise sun while he was driving his car, and he was like, the sun! Immediate serotonin boost! He's like, let's go! He's like screaming in his fucking car.
Fuck, man.
I was like, I can relate to that strongly.
Dude, I pop out the stage at work and come out. The sun the last couple of days has been absolutely singing, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It's been screaming like white light. I don't know if it's like solstice sun or what, but like, whoa, bro. I come out. Wow. I just had to take 10 seconds and just close my eyes and just be out there and just get hit with it. And then had to go back into the cave. But that time in the cave makes me really appreciate that time out there and really fucking not, I guess it's the same thing, not take it for granted, but like when it's lunchtime now, I just like bolt to the sunniest spot I can be, huff down my lunch 15 minutes and just lay for fucking 10 minutes, eyes closed, just get those rays. I go to a different place. It's like a half sleep, half, I'm kind of go to sleep, but like, also, people walk by and they're like, that guy's doing it right. And I can like still hear him and I just throw up a 1. So like, I guess I'm not really asleep, but sometimes I do. Fuck. Used to be able to, when I wasn't, I'm pretty much working at the table exclusively now. So like, I have to be there until they call lunch. Yeah.
Right.
And before I was able to, eat my lunch before lunch break, and then it'd be like, hey, 30 minutes for lunch. And I'm like, sick, I've already eaten. I got 30 minutes to do what I want. Now it's like 30 minutes for lunch break, and I'm like, okay, I have to eat for fucking 20 of these 30 minutes.
Like liquid lunch, baby. Just put that shit in a blender. Huff it down.
Honestly,
right.
I'm definitely going to try to come up with some alternatives. I need to get my bean game back. I've been slipping.
Liquid beans, dude.
I haven't pressure cooked in a minute.
Damn, dog.
Liquid beans would be fuck. That's a smoothie.
Dude, I don't know if I've shared it on the pod
what's
or not
your
yet.
go-to beans situation, man? In the pressure cooker. What's your process?
Oh,
Let the viewers in on this.
Viewers. A lot of people... Okay, dry beans. Do you have to soak them overnight? If you use them in a pot, yes. If you use them in a pressure cooker, no. Done. That's why pressure cookers are dope. Whatever your bean preference, my three-eyed raven of beans is chickpeas, red kidney beans, and black beans.
Nice stuff. That's the holy trinity, baby.
Holy trinity. I don't fuck with white beans. I think that's weird. I'll do lentils, but you don't have to do them in the pressure cooker, so And then you just, I'm a pretty simple guy. Basic bean bitch. I just put it in I just put the red kidneys in, put a shitload of salt, water. My mom's like, you should put onions in there and shit. I'm like, yo, the reason I'm making this food in the pressure cooker is because I don't have the time to fucking do this, kid.
Right.
So I don't have the time. I just don't want to prioritize that.
Yeah, no, I totally get you. Yeah.
So I'm just like a one and done. Boom, put in the pressure cooker, salt, shitload of salt. Like I've done garlic powder a few times, but I'm like, sometimes I just want to fully customize these beans after. I don't want it to be garlic every time because I make fucking 4 days worth of beans at least. I don't want to be married to garlic for 4 days. Yeah. So I just simple, salty, boom, make them done, sick, strain them into a huge Tupperware and then scoop them out and oil and salt and vinegar.
Salt and vinegar beans.
Bro.
Makes sense, man. Makes sense.
Red wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar, whatever I'm in the mood up for. Salt, pepper, sometimes lemon juice. Or you can go the other way and go the Asian route and do sriracha, sesame oil, and soy sauce. Boom.
Nice.
I could fucking live off those 2 recipes. Like, seriously, for fucking...
Bro, I like the sound of that, man.
It's fucking tasty.
It's pretty good.
Welcome to bean. Yo, leave your favorite bean recipes in the commentos.
Nice, yeah. Yo, Brandon better have a bean recipe for us this week, man.
Yeah. Brandon, you a bean guy or what? Come on. Come on, bro. Don't let us down.
Yo, all the bean guys comment on the video.
You're the king of the community, dude. Okay, Kev 2. Who runs the world? Beans. Who runs the world? Beans. I'm gonna have to make some, like, funny freaking, like, food waste songs. My little charity.
Beans-based content?
Here.
Oh, yeah.
Some beans-based content. Yeah, the Green Star Championship Association. I'm just gonna move my head for the viewers at home. Behind my fro is a belt. It's a professional wrestling belt that's been vinylized to have green stars all over it. I'm going to make another one like that. And I'm in the throes of getting the shit done. I'm trying to get some grants here, and then you got to get grants, you got to do all these official little hoops.
Right.
And you know what? It's not that I got to do it, it's that I get to do it, bro. That's my fucking line I jacked from Big Sean. But like when you apply, it's, okay, who's your board of directors? When was your last general meeting? What's your budget? What's your this? What's your that? I'm just like, okay, I guess I have to do all this shit.
Right.
It's not that I have to do it, it's that I get to do it, as I just said 10 seconds ago. But, yeah, hopefully when the show is done, I'll have a little clump of time to actually give more than fucking 10 or 15 minutes a day, because basically I just wake up and work on it for 15 minutes at a time, do some stuff at work, but like,
yeah,
there's nothing like just sitting down and being fully focused and doing it and getting it done. And then hopefully I'll be able to get some grants, and then I don't have to pay too much of my own Skrilla to, you know, get these kids to fight food waste. And then we just make a little new generation of little hippies going into the roaring 30s hippie generation that's going to come, where everyone's like peace and love, I hope. The corona and the whole populist like thing, it's got to swing back, right? Like, how everyone being so, like, the fact that people are so siloed from their fucking social networks and shit.
Oh, the polarizing stuff?
Yes, the polarization. I mean, I guess if you think about time, you know, 50, 60 years isn't a lot of time. Like, in terms of fucking all time. But I still hope that we get to see that pendulum swing back, and we're not just going to watch it keep swinging down the more and more and more and more polarization. I hope people come and it gives birth to a few champions that really want to bring people together. What, you guys think that's possible?
I think what is happening in the world right now is everything, it swings from one extreme to the other and back. But I think the pendulum will slowly start to settle more in the middle somewhere. But right now it's like something happens and then there's like an overcorrection one way and then an overcorrection the other way. And I think it's usually coming from a good place.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not. I think is people want to be right. But I don't know, man. As long as social media is a thing, it's going to be hard to not exist in those things. Like, I think it's going to take people becoming aware of these things as they're happening, or like people are going to have to hit some kind of breaking point of their own in their own lives to be like, I need to renegotiate my relationship with how I interact with the world.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that COVID was going to be the thing that brought everybody together. For sure. But like now you get people that are like, why the fuck are you wearing a mask? Yeah. And it's like, wear a mask. And it's like, how can we be divided on something so simple?
Yeah. I mean, it did in some ways though. Like
it did in some ways, yeah.
Yeah. Like for in the scientific community, there's like no borders around that shit right now. They're all fucking working together trying to solve that stuff. True. So that's cool. That might maybe that'll persevere into other areas in that community, because that'd be sweet, you know.
I hope so. It goes to show that if they're given the resources and the time, and they can make stuff happen. Like at first I was a little bit sus that they got it out so quickly, but it's like they're actually just all the top scientists in the world are putting their fucking heads together on this shit.
Yeah. All if we had going at it.
Yeah, you choose any cause that's deemed important enough. This one was just pressing enough that they were like, we need to figure this shit out ASAP so that we can fucking return to some kind of normalcy.
And to your point about it like being rooted in good, like the polarization, yes, people are aggressive, and yes, they want to be right, but I think the stuff they want to be right about, I think people don't realize just how much they agree on shit.
That's a big one.
Like, you know,
it's a big one.
Like, oh, mask or not mask, you're just, you know, sometimes they chalk it up to freedom, and oh, you should have the freedom to choose and the freedom to speak, and it's like, well, that's not a horrible thing to want to honor. It's just the style is a bit sus that, you know, you're going about it and you're kind of twisting that a little. Like, there's still, you need to have some limitations in your life.
Oh, yeah, right.
We're
not a lawless wasteland.
Yeah, freedom that infringes upon other people's right to be free is not true freedom. So, like, I want to be free to not wear a mask, but I fucking cough on you and you'll go get grandma sick. Yeah. That's not free for the other person. You're fucking putting someone else in a prison. Mm-hmm. You know, so any kind of freedom or any kind of rights at the expense of another person, or having any kind of belief at the expense of another person, that's where the fucking trickiness lies. You can have your beliefs, but, like, don't impose them on other people.
Yeah, exactly. There's always like a degree of social responsibility, right? Like, you don't exist in a fucking self-made bubble, right? You have to be a part of society to a degree. Like, come on.
Yeah. For sure. I think one of the tricky thing is that people become so identified with what they believe.
Right.
That if you question what they believe, they feel personally attacked. Yeah. And it's like, you are not your beliefs. You didn't even come up with your beliefs. You took some mishmash of some shit you heard throughout your life, and now you're like, these are my beliefs. But like, everything that I believe is not from my own understanding. It's little things I've nitpicked from everything that I've ever learned in my life.
Right.
Yeah. That's not me. That's not who I am. Like, I exist beyond my beliefs. Yeah. And like, my beliefs will change. They have changed. Of course. And they continue to change. So like, that's the tricky thing, right? Is like, I have to defend my beliefs to the death, because then what happens if my beliefs are questioned? Then like, is my worth less? But it's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, I think it's good to defend your beliefs, and it's good to, you know, have spirited discussion in this, that as long as you're approaching it with humility, right? Like, if you're convinced that you're 100% right about everything, like, you're obviously not, dude. Like, it's impossible. Right. Like, every one of us has, you know, like Jaaron says, changed your views over time, gained new perspective, talked to somebody who totally fucking blew your mind about something and made you see something a different way, right? Like, and that's going to keep happening, and that's a good thing. Like, it's fine to be, vocal about your beliefs and push conversations, right? But you can't just be like going into things 100% that you can't change, right? Because that's just arrogant. It's just pure arrogance to think that you've got it figured out. Like, you might be right about a lot of things, but you're definitely not right about everything.
Yeah, for sure.
It's important to have that humility and respect in the way you deliver your message. But when the emotions come out, those tenets get a little bit forgotten.
Right.
People are just like, well, you disrespect me. Why would I respect you? Like,
right.
Well, what the fuck? Like, what? Well, who's gonna start it? If this person just disrespected you, like, you're just gonna expect them to start respecting you then, without respecting them? Like,
yeah.
What are they gonna see that's like continuing the conflict is not going to fucking resolve it? To eye for an eye it, great. You know, I'm sure we've said it on the pod before. Resentment is like taking poison and hoping someone else dies or feels the pain or whatever.
Right.
It's like, bro, you just take a moment, try not to be superior. That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
My challenge, because I'll be like, yo, listen, you're obviously in one right now. You're obviously emotional. And I want to just forgive you. And I think that's... like, I understand you, and I just want to live exemplary at this moment and listen to you. And like, I've diffused some pretty fucking heated situations just by fucking shutting the fuck up, listening, and agreeing. Not blindly agreeing and just like, okay, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but like listening thoughtfully, critically, like listening, and then finding a few points that the person said that I agree with and being like, totally, like, I hear you. And then at the end of it, they're like, fuck, sorry, I was being spicy before. I'm like, yeah, it's all good.
But, I mean, you don't have to agree with everybody in a conversation or agree with everything someone says in a conversation for it to be, you know, a civil, productive conversation, right? You can come out at the end of it still both totally disagreeing on the subject, but, you know, don't have to be mad at each other about it or anything, right?
Valid.
I think at the end of the day, most people just want to be heard.
True.
They want to feel like their opinion is valid.
True.
And at the end of the day, I think most people do want to do good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They just have different ideas of what that looks like.
Yeah.
They think if you go this way, we're going to become fucking communist Russia. And they think if you go this way, we're going to become Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, it's like, can we not land somewhere a little bit in the middle?
Yeah.
Like, please? You know, why does it have to be one or the other, you know? But it's all because I think people are afraid. They're scared. Mm-hmm. And I think at the end of the day, people just want their family to be safe. They want to have food on the table. They want shelter.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the same thing at the end of the day. They want their kids to have a better life. Like, it's all coming from the same place. It just gets twisted somewhere. And, like, people just have different ideas of what's going to work and what's not.
Yeah.
And I think people, what it feels like is like, you guys don't understand where we're headed if we do this. And it's kind of happening in both extremes, you know? And we don't know where it's going to go. We don't fucking know. Part of it is like,
I don't know if I agree with the both extremes that way though. Like we've literally started seeing like authoritarianism, far right, like racially motivated attacks and domestic terrorism, right? But we're really not seeing an equivalent on the other side.
yeah.
Right, like I totally get the whole like
What about,
extreme of either thing is bad, but like we're literally like seeing extreme right activity in the West right now.
Yes, my concern is once you open Pandora's box of silencing people, those are the things that scare me.
Oh no, I'm certainly not advocating any silencing. I don't think anybody's really talking about silencing people.
Well, like I think it's a slippery slope of deciding who and who cannot be able to spread a message.
Well, I mean,
whether you disagree with it or not.
It's not about that, though, right? Like, people are allowed to say whatever they want, but no one owes them a platform or owes them, you know, a space to do that, right? They can go out and preach, right? They can go and stand on the corner and spread their message, and whoever wants to listen can listen. They can go do it wherever. But, like, you know, anytime that they're expecting to be given a place to do so, like, they're not owed that. No one's owed that. You're still allowed to do it.
I just think that the way that we communicate now, social media is an extension of how we communicate. Sure. And being able to say that you can't use a platform that everybody else is allowed to use is like saying you can't speak on certain issues in the fucking town square. You can't come into the town square and talk about a conspiracy, or you can't talk about this shit because you're propagating negative beliefs towards society or whatever. But like, who's to decide what's a negative or a positive belief?
I mean, I feel like that's coloring it a bit too fairly, too generously. Like, the people who are getting banned for this stuff on social media, it's pure misinformation. It's verifiably false stuff, and it's things that are literally having violent outcomes. Right? Like, it's not really like this company's a liberal company, so they don't want any conservative voices. It's not like that. Like, these spaces are still dominated by right-wing voices.
So what about
in the first place?
That's fair, but by saying that you can allow somebody who's like fucking Antifa, you can give them a platform.
Okay, what do you mean by that, though? What do you mean by, like, giving somebody who's Antifa a platform?
Like, they're saying, like, you give someone an opportunity to close down blocks of a street and commit violent crimes in there. Like, the same things that happened when they try and promote this lawlessness. It's just chaos.
Yeah,
promoting lawlessness and...
So like this is like the Seattle thing you're talking about, right? Where they had like the block of Seattle.
Yeah, it was like that was a violent thing.
Yeah, I mean that's a situation where definitely like that kind of created some bad outcomes for sure. But like, I mean, that's a single event that like they decided that shutting it down was the best alternative to, you know, the rioting that was happening there. Right. Like, and I don't know, you can, I guess, say one way or the other way, either you agree with the response to that, but I don't think that's really analogous even to spreading of like misinformation, hate campaigns on these huge platforms. Right. That was at the very least, that was a response to real police violence against minorities. Right. So I don't know if they're totally analogous. I don't disagree that, you know, that's obviously not a great situation. But I don't think it's damning of a one side or the other kind of thing.
I think it's hard when I don't know like what media I can trust and what information I can trust in the world today.
Yeah, that can be tough. I can understand that.
You know, so like those people that were doing that, like the fucking raid on the Capitol Hill, whatever.
Yeah.
The misinformation that led them to do that. They thought that they were getting correct information. Like,
sure.
Could you not say that the people who are fucking shutting down Seattle thought the same thing? And then they went in and then they're like killing people. They're shooting people they disagree with.
Well, no, I don't think those are the same thing at all, because the people who were attacking the Capitol were attacking the Capitol because they thought that they were being rallied to take back a stolen election for Donald Trump, even though there was no evidence that was the case. They were completely flouting all the information that pointed to the opposite. Whereas the people in Seattle, this was like rooted in Black Lives Matter protesting, which was a direct result of police violence against black people, which is in no way a conspiracy. Like, that just happens. I mean, I guess you could say it's a conspiracy of power that they continue to commit these acts, but it wasn't like you can argue with the acts there, but I don't think you can disagree with the motivation or the inciting of that, right? I totally understand the disdain for any sort of rioting or this, that, and the other, right? I get it. I don't like that either, even if I am a huge supporter of the causes that these few events on that side, have come of that. But the Capitol riot was an act of rebellion built entirely on misinformation.
Sure. Yeah, it was built on misinformation, for sure. the thing that concerns me is just that, yeah, some people, like, who's to draw the line that, like, one day somebody says something that, you know, Twitter disagrees with and says this is hate speech and then shuts them down. And then who's to decide what that is in the future? Like, is Twitter the one that's going to be able to decide who can and can't speak?
Yes.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough for sure. But I mean, like, I don't know. At the end of the day, like, I mean, that's their platform and they can do that. But I totally get what you mean, right? That it is sort of the town square kind of thing.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like them more so than somebody with a podcast or a TV show or something that has a big platform. They do have a social responsibility, I think. Even though they are a private company, they've just gotten to a point where, like, they are, like, that's how we communicate with each other.
Right.
It's just how ideas are shared. And maybe I've read 1984 too many times, but I'm scared of it going in a direction like that.
Yeah,
I don't know that Twitter banning people is 1984. I don't know if I'm.
No, I'm not saying it is now. I'm just saying. I'm saying that you could, like, can it get to a point in 100 years where someone can decide who can and can't say what, who can speak out against the government, or who can, speak out against police brutality even. Like, what if them, like they use that Antifa thing as it is being used as a reason to fucking demonize Black Lives Matter and anything anti-police brutality. Who's to say that one day some fucking entity can't be like, yeah, you know what? Last time people talked about police brutality, there was a fucking riot, so we're just gonna shut down anybody talking about police brutality.
Right, but I mean, like, that's I don't know, that this is more like a Twitter social media issue than it is like a public policy issue, I think, right? Like, I don't think we're in...
For now.
I guess, right? Like, yeah, anything can be a slippery slope if you want it to be, but...
that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying it's not a big deal now. It's just I don't like the direction that it could go.
I was talking to Rossi about, like, the revolving door of fucking big politics and big whatever.
Right.
Fucking big tech. And, like, how these guys have just come up. Like, obviously, their hard work and their servers and their ideas made Twitter and Facebook and all this shit and their risks and whatever, but, like, we're all fucking part of making it big.
Yep.
And then now they exist and huge, and they just came up so quickly that we could never regulate them at the speed that they grew.
Right.
Yeah.
And, like, Rossi was telling me, I don't know if it's, like, what the exact details are, but, like, all these... the big boys of, Twitter, Google, and all this shit are all, like, from Joe Biden's camp or whatever. And they're just like, hey, Trump went too far. He's fucking gone. And of course he went too far. He's been going too far since time.
It was a matter of time.
If there was a cancellation that could be kind of universally agreed upon, it was his.
Right.
But at the same time... to push him away and to push him into the shadows is just to, like, I feel like it just fires up that fucking crew even more. Like, they don't get us and they fucking throw, like,
I think maybe that's true. Like, I get why that could be seen, but I think it's the width of the signal, I think, is really important there. Right? Like, how often do you actually hear about him now, right? Like, now that he's not tweeting and, what's he said today, right? You don't really, I'm barely hearing about him at all, right? And so that says to me that maybe, you know, more casual followers of current events and things like that probably don't hear about him very much at all. Right. And so that's spreading, like, because I mean, he was the fucking king of misinformation. Right. Like, he just said whatever the fuck he wanted.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so
no shit.
So like people are being less exposed to those dangerous and just false messages. And so maybe he's a lot less likely to start bringing more people in, because for years and years, all the, you know, fascist white supremacist guys, they kind of worked in the shadows trying to win people over and such. But the past 10 years or so, maybe, they've been fucking raking them in online. So I think that curbing a bit of that it makes it maybe a bit more difficult for them to do their work. Maybe, I don't know. I hope.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. We don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. One can hope, but I don't think canceling Trump is in any way like a signal of the end times.
No, it was bound to happen. Yeah. I think I can kind of agree with what Powys is saying, is that, like, the people that supported him, he is their fucking god now.
Right. Yeah. That's a different problem. Yeah.
he's like a martyr now. Yeah. He's like, see what the government did? You're still the president. They took you off to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, those people have become emboldened now.
I mean, the good news is that down there right now, Joe Biden, for all the issues there are with him, and there are many, he has super.
He took a couple naps.
He has super high approval ratings right now, like already way higher than Trump ever did. So that means, like, it shows that maybe, you know, things are trending a bit better down there. They're doing some good things now. They're still doing some bad things, because of course they always will. But you know, maybe we're on the upswing a little bit with them.
I feel like you could have put one of the TriHards in there and we would have had better approval ratings than Trump on the way out.
Bro, you could have put all three of us in there, man.
Straight up. Team presidency.
Yeah.
TriHards. Yeah. It's a massive wicked web.
Yeah.
And, you know, at the end of the day, you gotta be cool with the way it is. As much as I have a deep fire to change the way things are, and I will continue to fight to change, to try to spread out the power in the world, it's a bit too consolidated for my liking.
Gotta agree.
At this point, and I understand that, you know, chaos could ensue if, you know...
Is Pow an anarchist?
I want to see that. I want to see it. I don't want to see the chaos. I just want to see what could happen with, like, more responsible, like, more spread. Like, yeah, we don't talk about Trump anymore, but the fucking 5 mass media companies, like, 5 fucking companies control fucking 3,000 channels. Like, did you see that thing on Reddit that time where the dude that, like, they start saying that message or whatever?
Oh, the newscasters or whatever? Yeah, in America. Yeah. And, like, they're all owned by the parent company of Fox News or whatever, the Rupert Murdoch, the Australian guy. And so, they're all giving the exact same story, like, word for word.
Really?
Weird. Like, it starts with 1, switches to 2, switches to 4, switches to 16, switches to 64, just giving the same script.
Yeah, that's the Fox News shit to the max, man.
And I think some people, like some teachers, I don't know if it's in Canada or what. Maybe in America, sometimes they get scripts.
Teachers get scripts?
Yeah, like they have to read a fucking script. Like,
damn, dude.
Like, it's fucking nuts. Like, a friend of mine went to school in America or whatever, for college, and it was like, hey, World War II, like, who ended it? Like, USA and fucking Mexico. And my friend was like, yo, wasn't Canada on that team? And they're like, like, we love to point the finger at, like, oh, they're only teaching their history or their fucking...
Right.
Well, you got to teach what's relevant to where you're at, too, right?
Right, yeah. I mean, history is fucking massive. You got to pick lanes, right?
True.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just people, they're just going to teach whatever the fuck they want and whatever makes it... You know, whatever keeps the cogs of the wheel going. And
right, yeah, it's important to remember that our entire worldview is very colored by, like, what we know about the world, which is such a narrow view, like based on the grand scheme of things, right? And it's easy to lose sight of that sometimes. To be like, oh, we know this because of that, but dude, do we actually fucking know anything? Like everything is contextualized for us, right? Like we see everything through our lens. That like, oh, dude, we may have some crazy weird ideas about stuff at the end. So that's what I mean with the humility stuff, right? Is that like, can we actually be objective? Like everything is at least colored through our perception of it. So, you know, let's try and be somewhat understanding of each other and other ideas at least, right?
Yeah. Objectivity is an absolute task.
I don't know if it's pretty much impossible, I think, man.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, for me, the most objective thing is also a super subjective thing, which is love. I think everybody...
It's true.
The fucking terrorists... you know, want to spread their idea of love. It's fucking...
Right, yeah.
I'm killing myself for my love for my fucking God. I'm destroying you because you fucked the love of my country, and I love my country, so here's this. And, like, you know, we all are probably trying to love and express love, but that is so... Hopefully. Is so, I don't want to say convoluted, but like so hard to define.
I think at the end of the day, we all have an innate capacity to do that. I just think that sometimes the world closes us off to giving and receiving it.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
Everybody walks up with our fucking guards up.
Yep.
Afraid to let people in or afraid to express it. If you peel back all the layers of the onion, like at the root of it, we're all capable of it. And like that, all have that innate capacity. And it's just all these layers of just like, I hate that person, or that's bullshit, or that idea is stupid. And, you know what I mean? And just like all these things that just make it harder.
It's a technique, bro.
Yeah.
I'm freaking getting pretty decent, but I'll get checked real quick when, like, if I have a jealousy flare up or something.
Or if your roommate's wearing a Liverpool hat.
Or if my roommate's wearing a Liverpool hat. Yeah, sports fucking get me.
Sports make me not love people pretty quickly.
But, no, man, dude, sports wouldn't be fun if you had to love everybody. Fuck that, man. You gotta hate the guys. Those guys wear different shirts than our guys. Fuck those guys, man.
We can all be unified in our hate for the ref.
Yes! Yes!
That's true.
Fuck you, Stripes!
But shit, what was I saying? I forget. I kind of wanted to.
You getting checked?
Yeah. So like, I'll be in a good loving mode. Like, I love you. Like, even someone I clash with, like, oh, it's all good. Like, say what you need to say. I got your back. Cool. And then I'll come across someone who's maybe farther along, either society or fucking spiritually, or just a fucking handsome dude. And I'm like, who the fuck do you think you are? Pretty quick. It's spicy, like, right away. I'm just like, oh yeah, sick, bro. You're a legend, bro. Guess what? I woke up this morning and fucking did all my shit myself, so fuck you. How about that?
Just accosting handsome dudes on the street.
Oh,
that's fucking hilarious.
Dude, absolute spice.
It's real though, man. Like, girls do that shit too. It's like, see a hot chick, I immediately hate her because she's hot. Yeah. I don't know anything about her.
Damn, dude.
You know?
Then like, get to know the guy a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay, you're cool. Like,
right.
I just whatever. Comparison is the assassin of joy.
Yep.
Comparing is when your thought is thinking about what you're fucking not instead of thinking what you are. And if I see that dude, it's like, wow, you're sick, established, tall, dark, and handsome. I'm what I am, and what I am is I could be a beacon of light to myself. I could be a beacon of light to people. I don't need to stress myself about not being so fucking done up like a fucking Ken doll, you fucking mark. But, yeah. No spice.
No spice.
Love.
No hate. No hate.
But, yeah. So, you know, I guess my technique is to recognize when I'm in that and when I'm triggered by good-looking men. And, the technique is to, like, know that I'm there, recognize it, feel my feeling, and then try to do some sort of practice, like think about myself, think about what I have to offer instead of thinking about the gap between me and this person. I'm just bringing it back to that and
fair enough, man.
Keeping it going, and that I find the love in me that someone comes up to me and says I'm a piece of shit. Be like, dude, I felt that when I saw fucking Schwarzenegger the other day. But guess
what? Schwarzenegger, that's your example?
but what you have, but what you have is this.
That guy's the definition of a male butterface. I was about to fucking gap in his teeth and shit.
Adrian! But that's so...
He was handsome as fuck when he was in his prime until he started injecting plastic in his face.
Right. He looks like a fucking like filter now. You see him on
he looks like a folded up towel.
He does look like a folded up towel. But yeah, so I'll just be like, bro, it's
one day I'm gonna look like a folded up towel and I'm not gonna be laughing.
I doubt it.
Damn, dude.
But yeah, so I get choked. What I'm going to do is cultivate a technique of bringing it back to the self-love. Then when someone else is fucking having an issue, I can tell them my technique that worked for me. And if it works for them, it does. And if it doesn't, go talk to somebody else.
Powys is learning how to glove right now.
Love, Jer.
Glove yourself.
Is it called gloving?
Yeah, you wear like these white gloves with LED lights in them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Rave mode activated.
Rave mode.
You know what, man? Powys got me pretty inspired here, bro. Like, I'm thinking I might go exercise some self-love right now. You know? I mean, I know that I got no more podcasts to do for the moment because it's over. So, you know, what else can I do?
Mommy! It's over!
Live TriPod on Just for Laughs?
One day.
Nice.
We're going to start a festival in Vancouver.
Yeah?
Bro.
Maybe.
That'd be sick.
That's a fucking statement.
Well, pod's at that time, fellas. It's been a blast.
It's endeth time.
Go watch all of TriHards again in the full season. And we'll get you a second season, I don't know, sometime.
Mail us a new order of chicken nuggets. I still haven't gotten those back.
Oh.
Yeah, true.
Night.
Peace. Peace.